Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC, a weekly podcast and YouTube channel discussing everything Wrexham from the point of view of long-term fans and brand new fans like my wife. So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in.
Hello and welcome to episode 24 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC. As you could possibly tell from my voice, we were at Coventry yesterday.
We were.
And for it is what it is. I did a lot of shouting, a lot of singing. There was a lot to shout and sing about. And this is the result of that. And you're just going to have to deal with that for the next hour.
I screamed and shouted quite a lot.
Yeah.
At the game.
Yeah.
But my voice is still okay. So I must have very good, strong vocal cords.
No, I think I've just got more passion.
That's so true.
Anyway,
So
it was an amazing day, very emotional.
Oh, it was the best.
It was. We're recording this a little bit later than we normally would, basically because the draw took place on Sunday. We would normally record on a Sunday morning, something at lunchtime, something like that. We thought we'd do it a little bit later so that we could, you know, watch the draw first.
And then talk about it.
Then talk about it. So we've got Sheffield United.
We have.
What do you make of Sheffield United?
I don't really know much about them, to be honest.
No.
I know they're in the second place in the Championship.
They are indeed, yes.
If I'm honest, I find it very difficult to understand that there are two Sheffield teams. You've got Sheffield United and Sheffield Wednesday. So I've got to remember it's Sheffield United we've got, not Sheffield Wednesday.
Well, strangely, talking about that, we were in the car on the way home. And we were talking about, oh, you know, who would you like in the next round?
Yeah.
And you asked me. And I said, one place I've never been that I would love to go is St James's Park. I'd love to get Newcastle. Love to play Newcastle. And you were on your phone at the time and you go, they're out. And it's like, they're literally out.
We're not going to Newcastle.
No. And strangely, it was Sheffield Wednesday who knocked them out.
Oh, God, I didn't even click.
Yeah, so we got Sheffield United. Interesting one. They're playing really well at the moment. They are. So
great.
But we're at home. You know, anything. As yesterday proved,
oh my God,
anything can happen in the FA Cup. It was a typical FA Cup game. That was non-league minnows go to championship team.
Minnows.
Minnow. Well, that's what they call it. If you're a non-league team, you know, you're someone out the way. And we went there and we shook things up a bit, didn't we?
Oh my God. Do you know what I actually said? I remember saying to you whilst we were there, actually, I think it was like 2-1 up, I think, or 3-1 or whatever it was. Anyway, we were winning. Yeah. And I said to you, I actually don't mind now what the outcome of this game is. There is not one person in this, out of the 4,500 Wrexham fans, that would be disappointed with the team. No, I think they played amazingly.
I remember us having this conversation. We were 3-1 up at the time.
Were we 3-1? Yeah.
Yeah, we both sort of agreed that whatever happens from now on,
disappointed.
They've done us proud.
Absolutely.
Going to a championship team and scoring 3 goals. We were like, you know, whatever happens, if they come back and it's 3-3 or they win 4-3, or whatever happens, we have gone there and we've had a really good go. As it turned out, we didn't need to worry. We did worry a little bit, but we, you know,
the last 10 minutes were a bit of a.
The last half an hour, I think. Yeah.
I think I commented on something saying that we screamed, we shouted, we had our head behind our hands. It was just like you said before, it was just like all the emotions you could feel.
Yeah, I think
one game.
It definitely. Let's go back to the start. Of the game. So we had early on. I think we were definitely out the blocks, and we were up for it, and you could tell we were up for it early on.
Fans definitely were.
First 10 minutes, I would say we were 100% the better team. We were knocking it about really nicely.
Well. It was proved.
Yeah, and then 11 minutes, Luke Young, brilliant cross.
Amazing, man.
It was an amazing cross into the box. Dalby, great header.
Yep.
Place erupts. You know, you're in Dreamland at that point, aren't you? And it's just like, you know, we're 1-0 up here. What's going to happen? You know, and it's like, you know, but it's quite hard to work out. You think something like that happening would be a bit of a kick up the bum for a Championship team to sort of go, right, okay, they've had their fun. We're going to take control of this now. But it didn't really happen, did it?
Nope. Well, the 3 goals proved that.
Well, then we had Elliot Lee with his...
Who cares?
100% a shot. No, it was, you know, it was obviously a cross. But I think as a kid, if you're a winger or, you know, someone who's getting crosses into the box, it's all what you're taught. Yeah. Hit it at pace, aim for the far post, and hopefully someone gets on the end.
The curve on it though was just unbelievable. I think we me personally, when that ball went in, I was just like, because it was obvious that he was looking for Mullen to kind of pass it to. But it just kind of went past Mullen's face and into the goal, and I didn't quite believe that it'd gone in.
No, I think it was a strange one. I don't think the keeper could believe it had gone in either. But I think as the ball's coming across, as a goalkeeper, you're waiting for somebody to get a touch on it. So where the ball's going, as a goalkeeper, you're probably not expecting it to end up where it's going to end up without anyone being there. Do you know what I mean? You're going to expect somebody to touch it, be it a defender, be it the attacker, someone, and you're primed, ready. And when it misses everybody, I think it just caught him out completely. And it was just, he was a little bit slow to react, maybe. But
he was right by it, though.
He was, but I don't think, you know, I think I have seen a lot of Coventry fans who were sort of quite damning of Moore yesterday, and you know, and I don't know. I don't think he had a terrible game there, goalkeeper. Do you know what I mean? He let him fall, but I don't think his defence did him any favours. Let's put it like that. Do you know what I mean?
I was a bit unhappy with the way, you know, some of the Wrexham fans were goading him. I mean, I get you've got to kind of make him uneasy, but some of the things they were saying, I was thinking, is he though? Yeah, I'm not going to repeat what they were saying because I'm not going to.
It's just, I know it made you feel uneasy, and I remember us having a conversation and stuff, but it's just about making him feel uncomfortable, isn't it? And
it is, but there are other ways you can make someone feel uncomfortable than calling them what they were calling them.
Well, I know, but it's just one of them things.
I know, and it's just about a game,
and it's about goading.
No, it's not just a game.
Goading them into, you know, sort of getting in their head a little bit, and you know, and
well, it obviously worked.
Maybe it worked. Maybe it did. I bet
know. He was relieved after half time, and he was at the other end of the pitch.
yeah, that's true. There was
no one behind that goal.
There was nobody behind that goal at all. So and maybe that was a little bit to a detriment to them, really, because I think sometimes when you've got fans behind a goal, they sort of help suck the ball in a way. And I know they don't actually do that, but my point is, when you're looking at your fans attacking that goal, I just think it gives you that little bit more of a lift.
Yeah, maybe.
We had that in the first half, and we scored 3.
Yeah.
They would have also had that in the first half, and maybe staring down the barrel of your own fans looking at you, I think that does something. I
found it bizarre that they didn't fill up behind the goal.
Yeah, I don't know really, because you're hardcores, you know, you're sort of like the ones who sing, and they're the ones who are usually behind the goal. Yeah. So it sort of makes you wonder, well, where are they? And they were sort of round by us a little bit, weren't they? Yeah. Sort of in the corner there.
Yeah.
The noisy ones, as we'll call them. But I found it a little bit bizarre. They didn't have fans behind the goal. I did.
Yeah, I did.
What did you make of Tom O'Connor yesterday? Let's start with him, because we could pick out a million people, I think. But what did you make? So we've talked about the first 2 goals. He got the third one, the header.
Yep.
Just before half-time. Actually, just before we talk about that, when the board went up, just for how many minutes added on in the first half, everyone went, what?
7 minutes? We're not in the World Cup.
7 minutes? What is going on? As it turned out,
it was good for us.
It worked for us, because we scored in that 7th minute added on, which wouldn't have happened if they wouldn't have give us that. So it worked out really well. Really nice little header.
Amazing. It was like Everyone was just heading, you know. I don't think.
I love your impression of headers there. It's like bobbing, like.
I don't think it's actually, literally, I don't think when it was going like from player to player, I can't even remember who the players were now, but obviously O'Connor was the last one to get it in.
Yeah.
It was just like bobbing from everybody's head, and then it went in, and I think the goalkeeper was like, where's this ball going?
Yeah, it was a weird one. I think it was Young, Dalby, O'Connor, and I think it was just a bit odd because I think as well, when you watch the replay, slightly bizarre, Tom O'Connor sort of motions to head it in the opposite corner. And it's sort of the way it comes off his head, it goes in that corner. I'm not saying that's what he did, but I think that might have thrown the keeper off as well.
Maybe.
Again, you're in absolute dreamland again.
Cares?
You know, you've gone 3-1 up. But back to the original question, what did you make of Tom O'Connor?
I thought he was really, really good. I mean, to be fair, he has been good the past few games that we've played.
Yes.
And I think he definitely deserves his place in the first 11.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
I think he's, like we spoke about last couple of weeks, he's turned into that player that I think we all felt that we bought originally. And
a lot of people have commented that.
Yeah,
actually.
and I think we've now started to see this is why we've paid money for this guy, because he's really good. One slight negative is I think he lacks a little bit of pace.
Yeah.
I think there was a couple of occasions where his game is very much, he's comfortable on the ball. Mm-hmm. He gets the ball, he looks, he drops into these little pockets of space all the time. He always seems quite open when he's accepting the ball. And I think that's experience of higher leagues and the way he's been taught. Mm-hmm. He's very good at that. Some great long sweeping passes as well, especially for the first goal. He's the ball that went out wide. So his game's quite relaxed and slow, but there's nothing wrong with that. That's
clearly
that's the way he plays, and he plays it very well. Sometimes, though, I think there's going to be occasions when you need to put the afterburners on to get to players.
But are there other players that do that for him? Yeah,
Young, really. But
Young.
Yeah, and again,
amazing.
Young yesterday, excellent.
Oh my God!
I mean, I'm sort of gonna jump on a little bit, but who was your man of the match?
Luke Young. Actually, I haven't told you about this, but I actually did a post. Yeah. Man of the match post. Obviously, when you're at away games, I can't even remember who the man of the match was for the Coventry team. To be honest, I don't know. I mean, who cares? Yeah. Anyway, who cares? Yeah. But yes, obviously, when we do home games, we always they announce man of the match because we have sponsors of man of the match. Yeah. And we always do a post. But obviously, yesterday we were away, so there wasn't an announcement. Yeah. But I took it upon myself. Yeah. To make the decision. Yeah, that it was Luke Young. Because I think he was a firecracker yesterday. And he is all games. That's what you want from your captain, though. Absolutely. To lead by example. I think there was a lot to choose from yesterday. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. There was a few things that I noticed yesterday that was that could have been better. That could have been better. Ooh, he's had a bit of a mare there. And there was a couple of players that had instances of that. But I don't want to talk about that because it's why bother talking about negatives when we had a day like we had yesterday. I think you just got to put the negatives to one side for this week. Absolutely. You know, because we're driving home. We had a little moan about a couple of players, didn't we? Yeah. Okay, he was probably at fault for that. He was at fault for that. Yeah. But then when you sit back and you think, at the end of the day, they're a championship team who've put pressure on you and into making these mistakes, and they're sort of inevitable that there are a few mistakes. And there was a few little bits, but like I say, I'm not going to talk about them because I don't. Yeah. I think it would be unfair after a day like yesterday to start picking holes in players' performances. It did actually make me laugh because obviously on the way there we were looking at people's tweets and stuff like from Coventry fans. Yeah. And it was just like they totally underestimated. There was one comment where a guy was like, we beat championship teams every single day. That's what we do. Not every single day, but, all the time. Yeah. So what, a National League team is nothing to us. Yeah, I know. I think that guy was definitely eating his words afterwards. Yeah, there was quite a few like that. But one thing I will say about the Coventry fans,
there was one guy that got absolutely destroyed because he said the game will be over by half time.
There will be toast.
Yeah, and he said we're not going to get a shot on target. You know, it'll be over by half time. In fairness to him, he was right. It was over by half time, pretty much. But what I found with the Coventry fans is they were quite good sports.
They were.
In the sense of that guy, for example, he got a lot of abuse after the game. You know, rightly so. If you're saying something like that,
it was more banter rather than abuse.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But he
he
took it well, and he replied a couple of times, and he said, "Look, sorry, you know, definitely underestimated." Yeah. And quite a few of them, I saw quite a few tweets where people had taken pictures from the Coventry end of us saying, absolutely the best support we've seen all season.
Yep.
I think Mark Robbins, their manager, said, you know, he's never seen support like it at there in all the time he's been there. And, you know, as a club and as a set of fans, I really like Coventry now, because I think there was the usual sort of banter between fans during the game and the odd, you know, the usual sort of stuff.
Even kids like throwing the old
V signs up.
The V signs. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah, no, but it's, you know, but as a group of fans, I thought they were really good, good set of fans. I did.
There was a lot of them.
And to sort of take it at the end of the game and go, look, you know, fair play, you deserve that, you know.
And we bloody well did.
We did deserve it. So after half time, we're 3-1 up.
Yeah.
At the point when we're 3-1 up, so half time comes, everything relaxes, and you think, right, let's take stock of that. What's happened here? And what did you think was going to happen in the second half? What was your mentality at that point? You were like, right, we're 3-1 up. You must have had a thought, what's going to happen in the second half?
I thought, honestly, that it was going to be the longest 45 minutes of my, a minimum 45 minutes, because obviously, you know, you get added time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was, because obviously they are a championship team.
Yeah.
And you know, even though we were 3 up, I thought they're gonna have an absolute rollicking from their manager, telling them to step it up. They're gonna come out and they're gonna step it up. They're gonna make a few changes to the team, which they did. And yeah, I think they're gonna come back. And at one point,
well, before that, let's say that before you say what you're going to say, because yes, they definitely did come back into the game, but we went 4-1 up. Before they started coming back into the game, we went 4-1 up. So
we did.
What was your sort of opinion on the red card? Because we've watched it after. What do you sort of think about the red card?
From somebody who obviously isn't a professional footballer, whatever you want to call it,
or watched football for a long time.
Yeah. For me, it looked like, yes, he was going for the ball, but I felt that he was going to. I think originally he wanted to block it with his body, but unfortunately his arm got there first. But I don't necessarily think it was a red card.
It was an odd one, I thought. I think it was, the shot had come in. From what I saw, the keeper was wrong-footed. He maybe thought the ball was going the other way.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
And I think it probably would have gone in. And so it's denied an obvious goal. And it's a handball.
You want the team to stop balls going in, though?
No, illegally sort of stopped the ball.
Okay.
I felt sorry for the lad, to be honest, because I don't think he had genuinely reached out.
I think he was
to stop that ball. He'd gone in, his arm had come out, but his arm came out in the full movement of going to try and block it with a
himself like a salmon,
maybe,
and not put his arm out.
Maybe, but I think it was probably the right decision. But I did feel quite sorry for the lad as well, because I think it's one of them where you go, oh, what else could he have done, really? But we got the penalty. They went down. We got the goal
anyway.
Yeah, Mullin scored. Great for him to be scoring. Which is really nice. He's scored in every round now.
Mm-hmm.
And How do you feel the game went after they went down to 10 men?
Yeah.
How do you feel the game went after that?
I think, do you know what? I still, considering they were down to 10 men,
yeah,
I still think they played just as well as they were playing with 10 men, 11 men, sorry.
Yeah.
So I don't, obviously it had a detrimental effect because we beat them 4-3.
Yeah.
But the fact that we were 4-1 up at this point.
Oddly, we didn't score another goal after they went down to, well, technically we scored the penalty, but after that we didn't really threaten. At all. And, I think you could argue they played their best football when down to 10 men. Yeah. One thing I noticed Mark Robins had said after the game was they'd made a couple of changes. He acknowledged we'd made a couple of changes as well. That wasn't necessarily our, first choice 11 that we were putting out there. There was a few changes in there. And he said he'd given people an opportunity to go out and show why they should be in the team.
And they did, I think.
No. Well, he's saying they didn't, did they? Obviously. Mark Robins, I'm talking about
sorry.
now. And he said nobody can come knocking on my door to say why they should be in the team after a performance like that. And he's probably right, because they started bringing in their sort of first 11 players. They obviously brought Gyökeres on quite early on with the injury.
You know how to pronounce that now.
Gyökeres, yeah.
It's not Gyökeres.
Gyökeres for me was, I don't want to talk too much about Coventry players in a Wrexham, but I think he's top quality. I think Coventry will do very well to hold on to him over the next couple of transfer windows. Hopefully for their sake they do, but I think they will struggle to hold on to him because he was the absolute difference. I think every time he got the ball, I was like, oh God, because his movement is, and I think he hit the post as well.
That was not long after he came on, actually.
No, that was in the second half. He hit the post. It was facing.
I'm sure I watch a different game to you.
You 100% do, yeah.
Just think I get confused by all the players.
You did. It was in the second half. So he scored in the second half. He hit the post. Top quality player, and I think they might struggle to hold on to him long term.
Yep.
I might be wrong in saying this. I think he's a top scorer in the Championship, or definitely in the first top 3 anyway in the Championship. Very good player. And they started bringing some really good players on, and they just took control, really. There were 3 at the back to start with. Mm-hmm. One of the back 3 got sent off. So they switched to a back 4. So it didn't really affect them massively. They went from a 3 at the back /5. Let's not get into that. And they went to a back 4. And because of that, they could still attack in the same way that they were. And they give it a really good go. I think, shout out to the players who came on and to the manager. They give it a real good go. Unfortunately, lads, we were just better than you on the day, and we've, I think for the first hour, we were 100% the best team, and we looked like the Championship team. For the last half an hour, I think they pretty much dominated us, to be honest. And
not enough, though.
Not enough, but I think they will be gutted. Some of the chances that they had, they think they'll be gutted. But it was never a free kick for that. It was never a free kick. When they scored that free kick, Palmer scored for them. It was never a free kick. Young had gone into a tackle.
Hit the ball.
I think he nicked the ball away, and the player had taken Young out, and their boots sort of got a bit tangled up.
But they got
never a free kick in ever, and it very calmly slotted away. They hit the post a few times. And it was a nervy one, really, wasn't it?
It was.
It was a real nervy one. We definitely rode our luck, with them hitting the post 3 times, like I said.
Can I ask a question?
You can, if you like.
Why do people call the goal
the
woodwork when it's metal?
Because it's just historic. So they were always made of wood. So it's that.
Hit the woodwork.
So if you imagine back in the day when football started, for years and years and years, the goalposts were made out of wood. Okay. And as it went on, they changed to metal, but they were always wood. So that's why I don't even think the professional goals are metal anymore.
Oh.
I think there's some sort of hardened plastic, maybe. Anyway, let's not go delve too much into that.
Yep, that's move on.
Did you honestly think we would hold on?
What, to the win?
Yeah, to the win.
Not sure. I think when I said like the 45 minutes was quite a nail biting 45 minutes.
Yeah.
When I think probably like what we were doing, because you said this is the best thing to do. What they need to do is do it in 10-minute increments.
Yeah.
And like focus on 10 minutes. So we were like, 'cause obviously the clock was behind us.
Yeah.
Massive clock.
I turned around so many times.
And I think we were like, right, okay, that's 10 minutes. That's 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was like, but I think the last 10 minutes, including the 7-minute added on time.
Yeah.
That was like, I think my hands were up by my face. Like I was just so nervous.
Yeah, I think it's one of them where you know, I'm going to be honest. I was absolutely loving it at 4-1, but I thought they are going to come back. Even down to 10 men, they're going to come back.
Yeah.
And when they scored 1, I just had this feeling they were going to get another. And I thought, what we need to do is we need to delay when they are getting that third goal for as long as possible. The later they score that, the better.
Yeah.
And then they scored it and there was still 10 minutes to go. And I had this horrible feeling in the pit of my stomach that they were going to get another. And I think they definitely give it a good go. And I think they'd probably be quite disappointed they didn't get another. But I just had that horrible feeling they were going to get another. So for me, to get to that final whistle, that was like even sweeter, because I'd had this horrible feeling that we weren't going to hold on. So to actually hold on, it just made it even better, I think, for me.
Ryan's got a habit when we're at games, the Dover game, for example, and the Coventry game.
Yeah.
He tends to latch on to people and just hug random men.
Yeah, no, I had a little hug with a guy.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. Not hugging his wife, no, just some random stranger standing to his left. I was like waiting for a hug. He was like,
yeah,
I think you put your arm around me and just patted me on the back like your mate.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, I'll let it go.
Share the love about, haven't you?
I do have a question for you.
Yes.
Obviously, as we know, the usual 11 weren't up.
Yes.
So like Palmer wasn't there, Ford wasn't
there.
Do you think if from the outset we had Ford, Palmer, you know, the usual suspects, do you think we could have scored more goals? Do you think we missed, basically what I'm trying to say, do you think we missed Hayden, Ford? I mean, I know Ford came on afterwards.
Yeah, I was a little, I get your question. I was a little bit concerned in the sense of I thought Hayden's a big miss, but having said that, Max come in. I thought Max was amazing.
He dominated his position.
Definite man of the match contender.
Yep.
I would say I thought he was excellent.
He was.
Reece Johnson. I thought, we're going to miss Anthony Ford. Excellent. Played really well.
Yep.
And then obviously you're thinking, Palmer, going to miss Palmer. Dalby pops up with a goal and an assist. I think he struggled as the game went on a little bit.
He did, yeah.
But he scored the first goal to get us going.
Yeah.
He got an assist.
You can't really
I don't think you could ask any more of them players who came in.
No.
And I think it was definitely, for me, it was one of them. I was there on that day.
Oh yeah, I'm so
It definitely was. It's like if you think back over the years and you sort of think the Arsenal game, I was there. You know, the West Ham game, I was there. At the Dover game, to bring it more up to date, I was there.
I was there.
Yeah, you were there.
I was there.
The Coventry game, I definitely think in years to come, it was I was there.
It was actually a toss-up between going to the Solihull away game, wasn't it?
Yeah, because we were only going to do one.
Yes.
We were only going to do one of the two, and we decided to ditch the Solihull game to go to the Coventry game. I'm so glad we did that.
I mean, yeah, okay, the Solihull game was good, but nothing beats being at Coventry.
So we were having this conversation as well. We're like, we've got to be first on match of the day tonight. And we were.
We were.
Really, which is great. And I loved that. Danny Murphy, I loved seeing him having to choke down the anger being from Chester.
Didn't your dad message you going, I love Danny Murphy?
Yeah, I know. And he even mentioned it, it should be hard for me to praise Wrexham because I'm from Chester. But there's no way anyone could not praise us for yesterday. No. And Stephen Warnock said on Match of the Day, Stephen Warnock, if you listen, by the way, great teeth. Don't know where you bought them from, but they're
probably Turkey.
They were very nice.
Didn't even notice his teeth.
Very bright.
Don't even know who he is.
Very bright. He never had them bright teeth when he was playing. I can tell you that for nothing.
That's what being a professional footballer can
yeah,
do
it
for
does.
you.
Definitely. But even he said, that sort of ownership at Wrexham has bred this sort of like passion. And he's right. When you get owners in that you trust with the club, and everything sort of snowballs from that. And here we are, beating championship teams, and looking forward to the next round where we're playing another championship team. And
do you think sometimes, sorry to butt in, but do you think sometimes that you're going to wake up and this whole Ryan and Rob thing is just a massive dream? And we're actually not in the National League. We're in no league anymore. We're just...
Yeah, you go back to a couple of years ago, we actually get relegated from the National League. We're actually in the National League North at the moment. Yeah, I know what you mean. No, it is still a bit strange, I find.
I think we need to get used to it because I don't think it's going to change anytime soon.
No, it's amazing. All in all, an amazing day out.
Yes.
I loved it. It was only an hour and 45 down the road, which was nice.
It's a nice little date day, wasn't it?
It was. It was just me and you.
Because usually we have the father-in-law and the child with us, but we didn't yesterday.
We didn't. It was just me and you, and we loved it. Every minute of it, it was amazing.
It was good.
Massive congratulations to everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone who played. For me, I think it was Max was amazing.
Yeah.
Jordan Tunnicliffe was amazing. Tom O'Connor was amazing. Luke Young was amazing.
Everyone was amazing.
Look, as a combined team, it was an amazing day.
So well done, lads. We are very, 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 very proud.
We are, and I think they definitely did us all proud. Yeah, yesterday.
Now we would like the same when we go and play at home, Sheffield United, please.
Yeah, see, you're into it now, the old FA Cup, aren't you?
Do you know what I was thinking? Ryan's going to ask me now what I think about the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Well, I bloody love it.
Yeah, see?
Told you. Yeah, I think it's one of them things. If you're winning, you just want to keep on winning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Told you. You never listen to me.
I eat my words.
You do eat your words.
At least I admit that I'm wrong. You never admit that you're wrong.
Because I'm never wrong. That's right.
Anyway, let's move on.
We got a couple of games this week just to touch on. So we got Bromley.
We're at Bromley.
We've got Bromley in the league on Tuesday.
We do.
So that's a repeat of the FA Trophy final last year, which we lost 1-0.
Yep.
A little bit about them. I know you're going to tell me, but the last two games, I'll throw that out there. They played Southend twice.
They did home and away.
But yeah, so they played on Boxing Day and New Year's Day. So they won away 1-0.
They did. Well done.
And they drew at home 0-0 on New Year's Day. So what else have you got to tell me about Bromley?
Not much really.
No.
They are currently 10th.
Yeah.
And weirdly enough, last season they finished 10th.
10th. Yeah.
And their top scorer at the moment is Marriott. I don't think we say it like that.
No, me. But yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, how do you sort of see this game going? It's an important game. They're an odd team, Bromley, as they showed in the FA Trophy.
Yes.
They've got the ability to beat us. We wear off our game a little bit in the FA Trophy final, although, they've got the ability to beat us. And
it's a home game though.
It is a home game. And we struggle to lose at home. Not that we're trying, but you know what I mean. They're that mid-level team. They're middle of the table, very much middle of the road, and they're, like you said, they finished 10th last season. They're 10th now. That's where they're sort of at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's sort of where they're always at. And I think it'd be a tough game. But I would fancy beating them 3-1.
It's a tough one. I think I'm going to go 4-1.
4-1. Do you know what I've noticed with your guesses? What? When I guess, you just sort of add a goal here or there.
What was my prediction for the Coventry game?
Your prediction was 2-1.
Right. Well, I'll do that then. No, actually, 4-1. I'm trying to change my mind.
I'm not trying to change your mind.
4-1. My prediction for Bromley on the 10th of January.
Yeah. Do you know the only thing that worries me?
What?
The amount of effort and energy they put into that game yesterday. Not yesterday. Yeah.
Who?
Wrexham on Saturday against Coventry.
Are they going to be knackered on Tuesday?
The amount of effort. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I would guess Max is going to drop out and Aaron's going to come in, you know, and Dalby will drop out and Palmer will come back in. Mullin had a bit of a rest anyway. I would guess, you know, after about an hour or so, I'm guessing Ford will come back in. So there will be changes to freshen it up. I'm just worried about some players like who put in maximum effort, you know, like Young, Lee. You know, some of these players, are they going to be...
Nah, to be fair, people like Young, players like Young, he literally, you said that he put maximum effort, but he puts maximum effort in every single game.
He does.
So I don't think we need to worry about Young.
The only reason I'm saying it is they're putting maximum effort in, week out, against National League teams. This is a different level, wasn't it? This was putting maximum effort in against a championship team, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's maximum effort, like a Ryan Reynolds thing that he's got.
Yeah, it's a Deadpool thing, maximum effort.
Maximum effort.
That's what his production company's called, Maximum Effort.
Yeah.
That's why on the back of the blue shirt it says Ymdrech Mwyafswm,
which is
maximum effort in Welsh.
That didn't sound Welsh. That sounded very.
Maybe it's just my voice. Ymdrech Mwyafswm. Yeah, that's good. Try.
Yeah.
That means
I am Welsh, by the way.
Yeah.
Just didn't live here all my life.
She hides it well.
I do hide it well.
So another game next Friday.
Yes, originally the 14th, which is a Saturday, but it's had to be moved to the 13th because there is a derby in Manchester on the Saturday.
Yeah, that's it. So we're on the Friday night now, aren't we? And that's Altrincham away.
Friday the 13th.
Oh. So this is the FA Trophy game, 4th round.
Yep.
Right in saying 4th round, aren't we?
You are.
I'm
so confused now.
They beat Curzon Ashton in the last round, didn't they? Altrincham.
Yes, because it was between them that we were good.
Yes,
they did.
So what are you making of this? Tell me something about Altrincham.
Let me tell you something, Ryan.
How have they done in their last couple of games?
Okay. Last 3 games.
Yeah.
So they've played 2 away, 1 home.
Yeah.
The 2 away games, they won 2-3 to Maidstone, and Halifax they drew 2-2.
Yeah.
And their home game against Halifax, because obviously
which was on Boxing Day.
Yep, they won 2-1. So they're not doing too shabbily.
They're not. To be honest, Altrincham are always one of them teams where you always fancy your chances against them because they're sort of like. Not to badmouth them in any way, but then they're not quite at that level of the top teams in the National League. Let's put it like that.
They're currently 12th at the moment.
Yeah, to put it politely. But for me, I would say 12th is overachieving slightly for a team like Altrincham.
Really?
Yeah, because I think there's teams below them that maybe should be doing better, and
like Bromley.
They're above them. That maybe should be. I think they're doing quite well for 12th, to be honest.
Yeah.
So FA Trophy. Watch again. You know, I know you're not a big fan, but even though you've come round to the FA Cup after Saturday, what's your thoughts about the FA Trophy? What you want? What you want? What you want, woman?
What do I want? What do I want? I want win. Obviously, I'm going to go.
You do want to win.
Because you don't want to lose against a
See,
National
there
League
you go.
team,
You've changed the whole tune now, haven't you?
Well, no, I just, you know.
We're gonna win. We're gonna win the FA Trophy.
That's what you've said.
Yes.
I'm not getting complacent about that just
No.
yet. I'm going to go 2-1. I think.
Win 2-1.
2-1. Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I think we're gonna put out a bit of a.
We're just holding hands.
I know. Yeah. We're gonna go. I think we're gonna make some changes, but I still think we're going to be too strong. I think we're going to win 3-0.
Ooh.
3-0 away. No, you're not fancying that, are you?
I mean, I fancy them winning, obviously. But...
Yeah. No, I think 3-0. I think we'd be too strong for them.
I
back into the next round.
Yeah, I mean, I think the tickets are on sale now, aren't they? So, but how many tickets have we been allocated? 'Cause I do honestly think the amount of tickets that we sell definitely gives that to our team.
Yeah, it does. It's an odd one because there's so many tickets flying about at the moment.
Oh my God, I've lost track.
And yeah, you do sort of lose track. It's not a massive place, Altrincham.
No.
It's not a massive stadium. So I'm not gonna lie. I can't remember which tickets have been allocated for what, and it's just all over the place. I think
despite what the number of tickets. Sorry, I just hiccuped then and held it in. No, I don't think it matters how many tickets are sold. I think Wrexham fans are always going to be the louder fans. So, yeah, definitely. So I think it'll be all good.
Okay, cool. Right, some people who got in touch this week, we'll rifle through these because there's quite a few. So, just about the Coventry game, we had Matt Waddell. He said, "Wow, this is nuts." He messaged during the Coventry game. Tim. Love hearing the Paul Mullin chant loud and clear on ESPN Plus. Great to hear you guys over the home team. Yep. Spryone de Ronin. Oh, sorry. Updated every goal on YouTube, didn't he? So on our last YouTube video, every time they scored, he commented and said goal. You know, Dalby, goal, Tom Kerr, which is great to see. And comments help us, so thank you very much.
The next comment is from Nigel, who actually messaged us this morning. He missed the Coventry game yesterday, which I think he's a little bit annoyed about. But he took his wife to Berlin for their anniversary. And whilst they were in Berlin, he went to breakfast this morning. And he said that a German guy basically said to him and his wife, "Welcome to Wrexham."
Yeah.
And he said, "Well done for yesterday's win." So, and he also said, "Hoping for a selfish 1-1 so I can go to the replay." Obviously, that didn't happen.
No.
With regards to the transfer window, would love another striker, as think Dalby isn't pushing for a place. Also think we could do with someone to cover for Mendy.
Yeah, maybe. Carlo got in touch as well. He said, great input on the last podcast on the transfer window. Carlo wanted Man City at the racecourse in the draw. Unfortunately, Carlo, that isn't the case. Carlo had also got in touch about the Coventry game. He said people were saying it was like a home match. What an upset. It definitely was. Steve C got in touch to say these floodlights are going to save energy as they're LED and they are programmable as you don't have to wait for them to warm up. We have baseball and gridiron football stadiums here in the US and they produce great light and atmosphere. The Wrexham night games have a lot of dark spots, is what he's saying. It's weird for us because we're there, aren't we?
Yeah.
So,
well, you don't know if Steve's there.
No. Elisa Fifield, she said that she bought the streaming service in the US. Not only was it not free, it is $9.99. Dollars, yeah, plus foreign transaction fee for the day. All matches during that day. Be interested to know how the revenue flows back to all National League teams and how much of it is driven Wrexham fans that is helping the other teams. Just to touch on that slightly, I would say a lot of it is going to be from international Wrexham fans that are driving
Absolutely.
This. But yeah, so, you know, thank you for getting in touch there.
David Williams, not my brother.
No.
Had to check that one. Basically, we were talking about the streaming last I can't remember what game it was. Was it Solihull game?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
A lot of people were saying they were having buffering issues, and David Williams basically commented and get a good broadband provider, so solves all downloading issues. Which kind of
And Pete
de Pledge.
Yes.
Is that your real name? Your surname?
De Pledge.
Because it's an amazing surname.
It was.
Basically just saying on our last podcast, great show, guys, which was lovely.
Phil has also been in touch. They get great podcast again. After watching the first half and then catching the highlights later, I picked Tom O'Connor out as man of the match. This is not for the Coventry game. This was a comment from last week. On the point of whether we need to add players, the only position that I would like to see added is a striker. So it's another person saying a striker. Yeah. It's just concerning that if Ollie or Paul got injured, do we have anyone to stand in? I know a lot of people will say Sam Dalby, but is he up to it? I don't know. Maybe it's down to the lack of game time he's had. Who knows? Let's just hope it doesn't come to that scenario. Anyway, keep up the good work. I enjoy the hour. Roll on next week. Offside rule by Siân, which leads us on quite nicely to lessons with Siân. So,
This has been horrendous.
Last week we said we're going to start doing a few bits where Siân learns about rules of the game. So last week we gave her the offside rule to learn, didn't we?
Yes, Mr. Watt.
So what did you learn about the offside rule?
I learned that it is one of the hardest rules that I've ever had to learn in my entire 40 years of existence.
Yes.
And I had to write it down because I couldn't remember what I'd learned.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, what I've written is a player can't be off. This is a little aside before I delve into it.
Okay.
A player can't be offside.
Yes.
From a goal kick.
Yes.
Throw in.
Yeah.
Or a corner.
Correct.
Okay.
First point. Can't be offside from a goal kick, a throw in, or a corner.
Okay. And a player is caught offside if he or she is nearer to the opponent's goal than both the ball and and the second last opponent, including the goalkeeper.
Yes.
When his teammate plays the ball.
Yes.
To him or her.
Yeah.
In other words,
a
player can't receive the ball from a teammate unless there are at least two players either level with him or between him and the goal, or unless his teammate plays the ball backwards to him.
Very good. That is, that's good.
Do you know what? I wrote that down and I had to read it because no matter how many times I read it, I still can't remember the offside rule.
No, I think...
and that was from the offside rule for dummies as well.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, that was pretty good. I think you've pretty much nailed it there. So when the ball's played forward, another thing, you can't be offside. You said you can't be offside from a goal kick, a throw in, or a corner.
Yep.
That is correct.
Yep.
You also can't be offside if you're in your own half. So if you're in, the defending team where the goalkeeper is, that's your half. Yeah. You can't be offside standing in your own half either. Okay. So that's one thing you didn't mention. So when the ball's played forward, there has to be at least two defenders, two defending players, one of which the goalkeeper, in between you and the goal. Okay. So that's why you get them lines drawn across by VAR to check. And if a body part that can score a goal is further on than the last defender...
Didn't you say that certain body parts, but certain body parts aren't classed as offside? Did you say... Have I just dreamt that?
Yeah, so arms aren't classed as offside because you can't score a goal with your arm. So if you've reached out...
You can, but it won't be legal.
Yeah, so if you've reached out in front of you, that your arm or your hand wouldn't be classed as offside.
But your shoulder would.
Your shoulder would, yeah. So there was somebody who actually emailed in, wasn't there?
There was.
So Tam Chin from California actually sent an email to us, and he basically sent a link to a YouTube video, which is basically two of the cast of Ted Lasso, which is on Apple TV, and they were one of them was talking about the offside rule, explained it sort of visually with beer bottles because they were in a bar. That massively helped you, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
I mean, up until the point, when you found that you were reading stuff about the offside rule, were you struggling?
A little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
I am quite, Tam is right. I am quite a visual person. I'm not very good at looking at something and I have to do it.
Yes.
To learn it.
Yeah.
So looking at a YouTube video of somebody actually describing the offside rule and doing the offside rule, it did help massively.
Yeah.
To be fair.
But did you enjoy learning about it?
Not gonna lie, no.
No.
No, I didn't enjoy learning about the offside rule.
But do you think it's going to help you moving forward? Because now because I think once you've had a little bit of a lesson and you've learned stuff, I think you'll start to see offsides and you'll go, I get it. Yeah. I get it now because I remember the beer bottles in the video and stuff like that. And I just think it is quite hard without it being visual. And, like I said, talking about it and explaining it on a podcast is tough.
Maybe I will do a little reel or something of me explaining the offside rule visually.
Maybe.
That would be a good thing, wouldn't it?
Yes.
You don't sound convinced.
No, I think you should do.
Okay.
I think people need to see you explaining it. Yeah.
Okie doke.
Yeah, no, that was great. So next week, what are you going to do next week? Do you know what you're going to do?
No. You're going to tell me what I'm going to do.
Yeah. So next week, we're going to move away from sort of the rules of the game itself.
Yeah.
And what I want you to learn about, go away, do some research and learn about...
My favourite thing to do.
Yes.
Learning.
Yeah, learning. How are league positions decided when teams are level on points?
Okie doke.
Okay, so there's an obvious answer to that question, but then there are quite a few different scenarios that dictate where people are placed in the league. So if you've got a couple of teams that have the same amount of points,
yep,
what scenarios are there, and how is it dictated?
Oh joy, this is going to be fun.
Be a good one, and I think it won't. You know, because I know it's a question that you've asked me. Well, how come they're there and where? You know, they're there when they've got the same points. I think it'll be very much, and there's a lot of questions that you ask me surrounding how does goal difference work and all that sort of stuff.
Are you getting bored of me asking you questions? That's why you're doing this.
No, not at all. But I just think it will enhance your experience of the game.
Okay, you're so full of crap. You're bored of me asking you.
No, I'm not. I'm not. So that is your homework for this week.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, so take that away.
Thank you very much.
So anybody who's actually got anything that they want Siân to learn about, and they would like to learn along with Siân with that as well.
Lessons with Siân.
Lessons with Siân. Just get in touch like you normally do, and for anything else as well. So it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok, or email us at methewifeandwrexhamafc@gmail.com.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
So quick shout out for Dragon Chat again this week. So Dragon Chat is a mental health peer support group. I'm so sorry about my voice. It's been awful.
I find it quite funny. So.
Yeah, I know, yeah. So it runs on a weekly basis. So it's every Thursday. It's a Zoom call, like I say, and what it is, it's split into two 45-minute segments. The first 45 minutes is a chance for people to talk about what they found tough that week, and talk it through with people. The second half is very much talk about the football. The two halves tend to sort of mingle in with each other a little bit, but that's the general principle of how it's set up. It's an amazing thing, and I would highly recommend it for anybody who is struggling a little bit and would like to talk to somebody.
Definitely.
It's brilliant. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's a link to that down in the description. If you're listening to the podcast, you go onto the Facebook, the Wrexham AFC Facebook or Twitter pages on a Thursday. They send through all the details of how to actually get on that Zoom call.
They do,
which is great.
Yes.
It's quiz time. Are you excited?
I feel like I haven't done a quiz for ages.
Oh, you have though.
I know.
You did very well last week.
I did.
Was it 4 out of 5 last week? Excellent.
Can't remember what the quiz was, but I did well.
Excellent last week. Very good.
And now I'm going to bomb.
Well, no, not necessarily. Not necessarily. So very much FA Cup themed. After our game yesterday. Don't me.
Okay.
I know you didn't make the noise like that. Anyway, very much some questions surrounding this year, some past, some. No, don't look at me like that. Trust me.
Do you remember?
Trust.
Can I just say, do you remember I was not a football fan before?
Trust me.
Okay, I trust.
Question 1.
Okay.
Who did Wrexham play last time they were in the 3rd round of the FA Cup? And I know you know this.
I know this.
Because I told you. I told you that I was there with my dad. Stoke. Correct. So you do know. I'm not horrible. I do create these questions with you in mind. Not all the time. But. Question 2.
Okay.
Paul Mullin is the top scorer in this year's FA Cup so far. How many has he scored in the competition?
6.
Correct. See, 2 out of 2. You're flying. You're not getting this one. No, I know you've done a little bit of research, so you might do. I'm not sure. I've thrown this one out there.
Okay.
As not sure.
Yeah, I'm not convinced.
Wrexham last got to the 4th round of the FA Cup in 2000, where they lost 2-1 to who? Bit tougher, this one.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Liverpool.
No, it was Cambridge. Cambridge United.
Oh, I should have known that. That's where my sister-in-law's from.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, question 4. There's 6, by the way. Didn't tell you that. There's 6 questions this week.
Right, yeah.
I make up the numbers.
You do, yeah. No consistency with you.
No, there's no. Question 4. What was the name of the Coventry player who was sent off yesterday? Just the surname will do.
Zante?
Zante's in Greece.
Santa?
Santa? No, he's been and gone. It's not Zante. It's not Santa.
Oh, I can't pronounce. I don't know what his name is. Santa. Zante.
Zante.
Is it Zante?
You're going for Zante, the Greek island of Zante.
No, I'm not going for Zante. No, I can't remember.
It was Panzo.
Oh. It wasn't even close. Didn't even have the right letters in it.
Had a Z in it.
It did.
Okay, just with regards to the sending off, who took the shot that resulted in Panzo's handball and subsequent red card?
Mullin.
No, it wasn't Mullin. It was Max Cleaver.
Oh,
no.
I hate these quizzes.
Fallen off a cliff, haven't you?
I know. I told you I'd bombed, didn't I?
Yes, so for Saturday as well, 3 players were officially given an assist yesterday. Who were they? You have to get all 3 for this last point.
O'Connor.
Assists. Yeah?
Oh.
So assists. Sorry. I did say that.
Young.
Correct. So in this instance, forget about the penalty. So the other 3 goals had assists.
Okay.
So you've gone Young for the first goal. Correct. So let's do them in order. Try and help you out a little bit. So the next goal was Elliot Lee's. So who passed it to Elliot Lee?
McFadzean.
Correct. And the 3rd goal was Tom O'Connor.
Oh my Christ, I don't know. There was heads going all over the place.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I knew this question was coming up. So during this podcast, I told you who passed it to Tom O'Connor because I knew the question was coming. So you can't really look at me and say, oh, I haven't got a clue because I told you about 40 minutes ago.
McAlinden.
No, he wasn't even on the pitch then. It was Dalby.
Oh.
Yeah, it was Dalby. It was
so he got. Oh yes, yeah. I remember you saying he got a goal and an assist. Yeah, okay.
And I also mentioned it in the
Yep. Okay.
So yeah, not too bad. No, that's a lie.
What did I get? 3 out of 6.
3. Behave. You got 2.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, you didn't.
Okay.
Not bad. Well, thank you very much. Hopefully, my voice is better next week.
I hope to God it is because it's really annoying me.
Yeah, I know. I need to stop. I need to learn to stop shouting so much.
Never gonna happen.
No.
No.
So it is what it is, isn't it?
We'll see you next week.
Wrexham! No, say, can't even do that properly.
That sounded quite sinister.
It did.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.